Hi, I'm Katie Simmonds, Managing Associate at Womble Bond Dickinson.
And I'm Rebecca Keating, a barrister at Four Pump Court. And in celebration of Business Women's Day, Womble Bond Dickinson, Four Pump Court, and the Society for Computers of Law have teamed up to introduce you to a group of inspiring women working in law and tech.
And over the next couple of weeks, we'll be speaking with women from across the law and tech world who have carved out their careers, covering the private practice, in-house, public sector, and the judiciary.
These exceptional women will share their stories, advice, and explore challenges in these bite-sized videos. We do hope you enjoy watching these videos as much as Katie and I enjoy chatting with the speakers.
And on that note, we hope you'll also join us on the 22nd of September, which is International Women's Day, when we will speak with Triple Olympian Fran Halsall on the topic of big goal setting, challenge, and ambition.
So next we've got Sarah Green, who's a Law Commissioner of the Commercial and Common Law team for England and Wales. At the Law Commission, she leads a variety of law reform projects, some of which include some of the most cutting areas of technology and law. Prior to coming to the Law Commission, Sarah was a professor, so she has lived both that academic life and that professional life as well at the Law Commission. Sarah, what motivates you every day?
I think the thing that motivates me most every day is the idea that with my current job, I know that no 2 days are going to be the same. And actually, when I do get up in the morning, I'm very, very rarely aware of what I'm going to have to do that day. And although that makes me slightly nervous sometimes, it's a good sort of nervous, and I do like that, because the idea for me of getting up and knowing exactly how my day was going to go, I think I would find quite claustrophobic in a sense. I've done jobs where that's been the case before, and it doesn't really suit me. So I think it's the unknown really, and the love of the unknown, and wondering what each day is going to bring in terms of problem solving, because my job is essentially a series of problems that I have to solve. So the unknown is both what those problems are going to be, and usually for at least a few days, if not months, what the solutions to those problems are going to be as well.
What is your favourite example of technology doing good?
I think in recent years, technology that has had a largely negative press has actually been doing a lot of good that tends to go under the radar. So quite a lot of my work at the moment concerns cryptocurrencies of various types. And maybe it's fading now, but there certainly was when cryptocurrencies first became part of people's consciousness. There was a sense that actually they were these nefarious things that just served the interests of people who were doing things that they probably shouldn't be doing. And of course that is true, although that's usually true, I think, of any nascent technology. But the thing about cryptocurrencies and about peer-to-peer technology means that actually many people in the world now have access to financial services when previously they just wouldn't have had that. The unbanked population, because they didn't have the requisite address details, or they didn't have the requisite capital assets in order to open a traditional bank account. Those people now, with the technology that we're becoming more and more familiar with, can play a part in the international economy. And I just think that's incredible. And as I said, it's something that often goes unnoticed, I think, by lots of people.
What was your dream job as a child?
I had two dream jobs. You say as a child, but actually I retained those dreams for many years. I wanted to be either a guide dog trainer or an actress, or actually probably in an ideal world, both. So I would be an actor perhaps during the day, and then train guide dogs in evenings and weekends, if evenings and weekends are indeed a thing for actors, which they probably aren't. So actually my dream jobs were absolutely nothing to do with law.
What advice would you give yourself if you could go back in time, let's say when you were at university?
I think there are a number of things. I think the most important thing is not to worry too much about taking one path rather than another for fear of getting stuck in something that isn't the best or the sort of optimal place to be. I think it was true then, and it's even more true now. So if I were sort of saying it to myself in 2021, what I would say is don't be scared about trying something, even if you're not absolutely convinced it's what you want to do forever, because there are always doors that open if you go down a particular route, and you can always change your mind. And if you have the confidence to say, actually, this isn't the thing that I want to do forever, I want to do something else, then that's a possibility that you should be open to. I mean, that my career has been a series of happy accidents, I think it's fair to say, but happy accidents that were able to come about because at various points I was open-minded about what the next step was going to be.
And frustratingly, many women in tech consider that they may have been discriminated against at some point in their career. Do you have any advice for women that feel that their gender has affected the way they are treated or perceived?
Yes, I think the first one is maybe quite obvious, but it's also very difficult, which is to persist and not to give up. When I've encountered that, it is very difficult, particularly when you're tired, when you are trying to juggle so many things, as many people have to do, but I think a disproportionate amount of women have to do, whether that's family commitments, caring commitments of various kinds, home organisational commitments. And when you are faced with a combination of feeling like you're treated differently at work and you come home and you have to do all those things, I think I know it's very easy to feel like maybe I should just walk away. Maybe I should go and do something that's a little less challenging in professional terms. But although I have been in that position quite a few times, I haven't done it, and I'm now glad that I didn't do it. So I think one thing to say is to persist. And the other thing I think is to talk to people about it, both people who are going through a similar thing, but also I found the people who you feel are doing it. I think working in academia, the sort of treatment that I received was unintentional. So happily, I have very rarely faced anybody who is, I think, intentionally discriminating against me because of my gender. But what I found when I spoke to people who I felt had treated me differently was that they were quite surprised that that's what they had done, hadn't realised they were doing it. But when they looked back on what happened, said, actually, yes, I see that was what I was doing. So it's, I guess, a classic case of unconscious bias. And when I did have those conversations, as you might imagine, things got better, at least in that area and in that particular sort of corner of my life. So I think those are the two things that I would say. Give them a try, but also try and get plenty of sleep.
Sarah, it was wonderful to speak today. Thanks so much for sharing your advice and your experience. I really appreciate it.